Please welcome Gage and Jace Lee and Breck Aberhoff to the stage for a very special introduction.
Hi, I'm Jace Lee.
I am Gage Lee.
And I'm Breck Aberhoff.
When I think of Christian, the first phrase that comes to mind is big brother. Being the oldest child of my family, I have never had the person I could look up to until I met Christian. His work ethic and charming personality have been qualities that I've tried hard to implement in myself. He is always the first to give a lending hand, and his personality truly has the ability to light up a room.
When I think of Christian, the first trait that comes to mind is a hard worker. Helping Christian mow lawns for the last 2 years, which, by the way, is a quick plug for his business, Elite Mowing. But in all seriousness, I've learned that there is no job too big for Christian. I continuously catch myself noticing Christian's ability to give more than is ever asked of him. One trait of Christian's that I would like to install myself is how he miraculously manages to always mow straighter lines than me.
Christian is truly the epitome of the word outgoing. Christian never turns down a crazy, fun, or random idea, but is still that leading figure that is so valuable. Whether this activity is going to Walmart at 11 o'clock at night just because, or cracking a random joke, Christian always finds a way to bring smiles and laughter to those around him. Kansas FFA, we are so proud to introduce our hardworking, outgoing, and big brother figure of a friend, and your Kansas State FFA President, Christian Peña.
You can tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fish in another town. You just got too much on your plate to bait and cast a line. You can always put a rain check in his hand till you can't.
Let me transport you back to a time when my curiosity was at its peak and dreams were born in the humblest of places, my basement. Amidst my 9,000-acre carpet farm that I farmed with 164 scale tractors and help from the best, my dad. It was here I found peace, inspiration, and a sense of purpose. Ever since I could crawl, I can remember my dad and I playing in those 9,000 acres of farm ground, tilling, planting, fertilizing, and harvesting the fruits of our labor. With countless carpet burns and many Oreos at break time, you were sure to know that we got the job done. Among that large farm, there was a miniature hoop that hung on my door, and it was there I would face the fiercest of competitors, my parents. After a hard day's work, we would then kick it back with a good old-fashioned scrimmage. But just because the hard work on the farm was done, that didn't mean that this was your average pickup game. It was here, as a 6-year-old, I would find myself in the toughest situations, with my parents on their knees right in my face, forcing me to find another way to the basket. The defense was insane. I couldn't escape it until I finally dropped back to what felt like the half-court line to 6-year-old me. And bam, the ball was being released, and as I watched it spin through the air, I finally heard swish. Though these games were fun, it was here I would get my first glimpse of how ruthlessly competitive my parents could be. And trust me, it was crazy. No matter my age, my parents were not going to take it easy on me. Just like on the carpet in our basement, my parents were fierce competitors in their lives, and they would not let any setback hinder them from living the life that they wanted. When my dad was just 2 years old, he crossed the border of Mexico with his family in pursuit of the American dream. They sold everything in their names to build a life and make a name for themselves in a country that they knew nothing about. And from the start of their lives here, their hard work and grit would be what got them to where they are today. Their dad, a man who wanted his kids to have a good education, and their mom, who would support them in any way possible, even if it was with a chancla every once in a while. Whether they were working 1 to 2 jobs after school or throughout their college careers, there was nothing that would stop these 6 kids. They came to this country in pursuit of the American dream, and they were not going to let their parents down. They each would go on to do what they loved: teaching, trucking, serving on the police force, and even owning businesses. Similar to my dad, my mom's life growing up wasn't so glamorous either. She came from a family with 2 other siblings, and they didn't have a whole lot of money. But that wouldn't stop them from doing what they loved. My mom, an all-star softball player, would spend all of her free time working in order to pay for summer league travel ball, and her parents would follow her around and support her in any way possible. She dreamed of becoming a teacher, but was scared that she couldn't afford it. But instead of stopping, she persevered with the challenges ahead, and ultimately would become only the 2nd person in her family to graduate from college. Just like in our basketball games, my parents were fierce competitors from the day that they were born. Whether it was in the game of life or in sports, each of them would embrace their remarkable talents. And as I look back to that time, I can't help but wonder what they were trying to teach me. And it was when I came across this quote from Michael Jordan that it finally hit. Some wish it would happen, some want it to happen, and others make it happen. My parents were teaching 6-year-old me what it took to make it happen. I was in the presence of my 2 biggest champions, the people that I get to call Mom and Dad. Just like this is my parents' championship story. The real question is, what's yours? Well, let's think about it. What is a goal or an achievement that you want to achieve? Let's make it obtainable, something that we can achieve by the end of this upcoming school year. Now that we have our goal, what's the first step in achieving it? Now that we have our first step, we need accountability. Just like my parents served as my champions from the day that I was born, it's your turn to identify who your champions are. The people who are going to walk alongside you in your journey and hold you accountable to make sure that you all see your dreams come true. Well, let's look at it this way. The first step in any journey is showing up. For some of us here today, that's showing up at the crack of dawn to go to your ag teacher's classroom, to work on ritual, other CDEs and LDEs, or even planning for your community barbecue. Step 2, continue to show up even after that honeymoon phase has ended. For me, that was waking up every day to sharpen my blades and clean the decks on my mowers so that I had the best looking yards in town. Step 3, measure your results. Win or lose, did you put all the effort in that you could to get it done? And if you still came up short, what are you going to do to make it better than the last? And the 4th and final step, do it again. Because if at first you don't succeed, try again. And who knows? You might even surprise yourself with the results that follow. However, for some of us, our dreams may not even seem possible at first. When I was just 8 months old, I would have my first open heart surgery. I have a rare heart condition called tetralogy of Fallot, a defect that causes me to have 2 holes in my heart and the narrowing of my pulmonary valve. Though I don't remember much from this surgery, it wouldn't hinder me quite like the second one would. And as an 11-year-old, when we were getting ready to be released from the hospital, the doctors came in, and everything changed. They told us that I could no longer play basketball anymore, lift over 50 pounds, or do anything that could potentially lead me taking a blow to the chest. It was at this moment that I didn't know if I could make it happen. I wasn't normal, so where did I fit in the picture? What could I do to be like so many of my friends? I had to face it. I wasn't normal. I didn't have a regular heart. And I remember many times where all I wanted to do was just be normal again, to be able to play basketball or even lift a feed sack on my own. But I had to face it. My heart wasn't normal. It was special. I had valves that came from a pig's heart and mechanical patches that kept the blood where it needed to be. And all I wanted to do was blend in. But I had the coolest heart that any 11-year-old could have ever dreamed of. And thankfully, I had champions in my life who saw potential within me and embraced me to embrace my normal. And that's the best part about being a champion. No champion is built the same, looks the same, or even thinks the same. As we embark on our journeys as champions, we must always remember to embrace our unique selves and embrace what our normal is. So instead of stopping, I went on a journey defined by resilience and grit to build the life that I was meant to live. Through my adversity, I found a unique inner strength, courage, and resilience that lay dormant within me, just waiting for its opportunity to emerge. And when I realized that no one was going to make the life that I wanted to live happen, everything changed. That strength and courage that lay dormant within me emerged, pushing me to achieve my dreams with even greater passion. Those dreams that once seemed so far stretched became just an arm length away. And it was at this moment that I realized that just because I can't play basketball or lift a feed sack on my own, I can still be a champion. That word champion, it's kind of funny because the Oxford Dictionary defines the word champion as someone who has defeated or surpassed all rivals in a competition, especially in sports. But the real question that lies before us all today is surpassing a rival the only way that we can be champions? For me, it was overcoming an obstacle that most would deem impossible, and instead looking at it from a different perspective in order to pursue what I loved. Many times, all I wanted to do was blend in. But I had those champions who always encouraged me to chase after my dreams. My journey serves as a testament to the idea that champions aren't merely born, they're made. Through my refusal to give up on my dreams or compromise what I really wanted to achieve, that's when I started my journey. And that's when we can all start ours today. Kansas FFA, let's go on a journey defined by resilience and grit to build the lives that we were meant to live so that we can all become champions. In the end, it's not merely about reaching the destination. It's about embracing the journey and embodying what a champion means to you.
Tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fish in another town. You just got too much on your plate to bait and cast a line. You can always put a rain check in his hand till you can't.
Christian, no words can express how lucky we were to have you lead us this past year. Thank you for constantly showing up and making us be our best. Your passion and compassion pours out in everything you do, and your selfless leadership has helped us all to grow this past year. Thank you for bringing us constant smiles and bringing our team closer together. We are thankful to have had the best foreman anyone could ask for. You have become more than a teammate to us. You are a brother and you are a friend. Love Cecilia, Sage, Kai, Carly, and Peyton. Kansas FFA, your 2023-2024 Kansas FFA State President, Christian Peña. Members and guests, it's our honor to present to you, please join me in welcoming to the stage some of the people who have inspired and prepared Christian for his year of service to Kansas FFA.
Mom and Dad, it's really hard to put into words to thank you for all that you've done for me over the years. Mom, thank you for always showing me what it means to have a kind-hearted heart, and for always staying up late with me to make sure that I got all of my mowing done, and for following me around to all those golf tournaments that were either cold, windy, or blistering hot. Dad, thank you for instilling me with such a strong work ethic. Not only did you teach me how to work really hard, but you made sure that I also knew how to play even harder when the work was done. Thank you for following me around for so many years, being my biggest cheerleaders, and continuing to push me beyond my limits. Kansas FFA, please join me in welcoming my parents, Caesar and Sonia Peña, who have already received their honorary state FFA degree. Miss Meyer, I'll never forget about the first time that I stepped into your classroom. I could tell that you weren't like the rest of my teachers. You truly cared, not just about me, but about every single one of us in the classroom. Whether Jason and I were in the back of the classroom being ornery, or we were on our way to competitions and we were making jokes and making fun of you, I'll never forget about the times that we had. You helped me believe in the future of agriculture, and you strived to push me outside of my comfort zone and to get me to where I am today. Your mentorship over the years has taught me the true meaning of what being a servant leader is. Kansas FFA, join me in welcoming my ag teacher, Miss Elizabeth Meyer. Mr. and Mrs. Murphy, you came into our school just 3 years ago, and you turned it upside down. You made it a place that students wanted to come and learn. You helped our chapter grow and succeed by letting us go to all the competitions that we could have ever dreamed of. You helped us put on events at the school that took time and resources, and you showed up for all of them. You have helped turn myself into someone who is more positive, and on top of that, you made me into the leader that I am today. Thank you for all that you've done for our students and for all that you're willing to do to go above and beyond to make sure that all of our students are cared for. Kansas FFA, join me in thanking my counselor and principal, Mr. and Mrs. Murphy.
Thank you for your continued investment in Christian and in Kansas FFA. Members and guests, please join me in a final round of applause as these extraordinary individuals exit the stage.